What's up, everyone? I just did a quick, easy little setup just to go live with everyone. Let me see. I'm going to put it in the chat. Let me see. Good morning, Mr. Lurks a Lot. How are you doing? Yeah, I thought I would jump in. I promised I would be here earlier, or I said I would be here between 8 and 9, but I went to that live event that Jeff had, Jeff Gonzalez put on at the pizza place, and he held us over, and it was like, bummer. I tried to get out of there early, and as I was leaving, Adolf came in. And then we sat there catching up because me and Adolf haven't seen each other in a little while. So hi, Darlene. And we sat outside and chatted for a little while, catching up and making plans for next Saturday. He found a couple that he said I need to talk to, and so next weekend, Saturday, we're gonna go visit this couple. And I'm stoked. I can't let on anything though on WhatsApp or anything like that. He really didn't tell me. He's like, I don't want to spoil it or give anything away or alert anyone. So if I didn't know, I can't talk about it because he knows me. If I know, I talk about it normally. Hi, Jan. How are you? How are you doing? But the meet and greet was pretty fun. We There was quite a few people there, and it was Jeff's birthday a couple days ago, and I guess they had a cake. I didn't see the cake. I saw my slice, but I didn't see the cake, and it had Jeff and his co-host on it, his new co-host, and the cake was good. It was real frosting. It wasn't that yucky shortening with sugar in it, with food coloring. It actually was chocolate frosting. Yum, 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 yum. It was really good. Couldn't make it, but you're going next time. Ah, that would be so cool. I'll like to see you there. Jeff's talking about doing something. I hope it's not this coming Saturday because I have plans for this coming Saturday. But he was talking about doing something maybe in a couple of weeks. I hope a couple of weeks out at the Kings River. There's a lot of stuff going on since the fires burnt our spot last week. So the spot is now burned, and that means the Bigfoot are going to be looking for food. And usually right now, October, that's when the activity picks up down by the river. So there's that, that's an update on the spot. The spot burned. So I mean, somebody has to be setting fires. This can't be natural. There's just so many fires, and it's burnt everything in the last 2 years. All my favorite places are gone. They're not gone, but they're not the same. I'll never see it ever again the same as when I was a kid, or even like it was 3 years ago. So I'm kind of bummed about that. And I mean, yeah, it's been one heck of a month. I don't know about you guys, but it's been a heck of a month. I I was trying to think, like I missed 2 Saturdays. Hey Patrick, what's up? And I feel like an old man. Boy, Orange Cove. This is out here in Orange Cove. There are firefighters camping out at community center. It's so sad about the fires. See, now the spot isn't very far from Orange Cove. I can't I can't tell you exactly where it is. I'll get in trouble, but it isn't very far from you. It's up by Kings Canyon and Baldy, Big Baldy Rock. Oh, I ate too much pizza at the pizza place. I'll be burping pizza. uh, yeah, but it burned, and that means there'll be maybe extra activity along the Kings River, and I can give up the Kings River. I mean, everybody knows that. Yeah, it was really good. Me and Ed's. I ordered a medium pizza and I ate the whole thing. Yeah, man. So I was trying to think, like I missed I missed a Saturday. I can't remember what I was doing. I remember I was gonna share something with you guys about that. Let me see here. It's doing it's doing an event called the Shaver Fest, and it was pretty fun. I got a little bit of stage. So that's what I was doing one Saturday. That was called the Shaver Fest. And the Saturday before that, remember I think the last live video I did, the lights were flickering. Well, that last weekend we changed the breaker box. So I have a friend that does electric stuff, and normally, it's like 1800, maybe $2,000 to get a breaker box changed. And I got it done. I mean, I had to buy the box and all that stuff, but out the door, total $900. You notice the light's not flickering. I am so happy. So I missed one Saturday because of the breaker box or the panel or whatever you call it, breaker panel. And then the next one, I was doing that concert, and we started on Friday getting all set up, and then Saturday we did the event. And then I didn't think I was going to be on this Saturday because yesterday I got a shot in the eyeball, and it's a little swollen, and sore and burns like I got sand in it, but it doesn't look too bad, huh? can't even hardly tell. I mean, when people look at me, they can't even tell. But I can tell. It's like tender and stuff like that. But I'm alive, and my eye was doing a lot better. Doctor told me that there was just some swelling in there. That's the same thing he told me a month or so ago. Is there was swelling. I had some pictures of the breaker box. I was gonna show you guys. Let me see if I can share that because that. Yeah, so the breaker box thing was it was pretty bad. This is what was going on that one day.
A lot less stuff coming down. So.
Yeah, huh. I didn't know.
A lot less stuff coming down. So.
So behind the box was an actual hole in the wall, and there was breakers that were toast. I mean, they were dry. And we had in the kitchen, we actually had a whole section of the kitchen that didn't even run the power, didn't have power at all. And I have a fish tank on that, and I had to run an extension cord to another socket so that I could keep the fish tank going. But it was a fire looking for a place to happen. So I missed that day because of that. And that took 2 days. They started on Friday and they finished Saturday night. I mean, it took all day Saturday. It was a mess. I mean, we had no idea until we pulled it out, though, how bad it really was. So we were really lucky on that one of no fire. And then the Shaver Fest last weekend, and I thought the eyeball was going to take me out this weekend. And I didn't mean to be here late. I actually meant to be on because the Jeff's meet and greet started at 6:30. I didn't even get out of there until after 10. I didn't think it was going to go that long. And yeah, I actually left at 8 to be here at 9. I was going to go on at 9. And Adolf came out and we sat there talking. And while we were out there, I guess it broke up finally. And then Jeff came out and he told us that he told us we missed the psychics, and I told him you recorded it, right? He's like, no. I'm like, ah, man, you know. And I brought a camera and everything, and I was gonna set it up in there, but I didn't do it. But tonight I really set up a really simple setup. It's just a webcam. I hope it looks okay. I hope it sounds okay. Um, I haven't used this webcam in a couple of years, and I usually use it to record a video, but only I thought it's late. I don't want to pull out the mixer and the microphones and set up the camera, the big camera and everything. I'm just going to set up a webcam and go for it and see what happens. Hi, Carol. Yeah, you missed some stuff at the pizza parlor. I'm doing really good, really. I'm looking forward to getting out in the field. It's let's see, hypertensive. Okay, so what is that? I don't think that's what I have. I asked the doctor, the eye doctor guy, if it was related to blood sugar or diabetes, and he said no. And it's not bleeding anymore, it's just swollen. So he has to keep giving me the shots. I don't know how many more. I'm getting really close to being done with this. I've been doing it for over a year, like every 5 weeks for over a year. I'm really, really done with it, if you know what I mean. I really want to be done with it. Well, thank you, Mr. Lurkslot. I was wondering, I mean, it's not a cheap little webcam either. This is one of the ones that YouTube recommends to use to blog or whatever you want to call it. Hey, World Bigfoot Radio, what's up? I think that's what it is, Carol. I really do. Um, I have really high blood pressure, and it's from the RSD that I have. And what happened is I have nerve damage, and the brain and the nerves don't talk very well together, and it causes what do they call that? Fight or flight. Like all of a sudden, my body will go into fight or flight. My blood pressure goes up, adrenaline starts going, everything constricts, and there's no reason at all. My heart will be racing, and I have to take meds for that. And one of the other side effects of this RSD is it tells the vessels to clamp down, right? To squeeze. So it's always squeezing. It never ever lets up. So it's like the worst disease you could ever get. If you really want to read a horror disease, something that's horrible, horrible, look up RSD. And man, I've been having it now since 2000. So I'm going on 20 years with this disease. They give me good meds though. It has the highest pain known. The highest pain known. The only other pain that's higher is having a digit or a arm or a leg or something like cut off without uh, anything to numb it. So it's like the worst, absolutely the worst. You know, I find it kind of funny. You know, I mean, it's not funny, but one of the problems of why I don't do Paranormal Central anymore is because of the RSD in my leg and how it's weak. It's always in pain. Um, I can't keep up with Jeff, and he didn't make any like. I told him, don't be easy on me, you know, like treat me like regular because I want to be regular. But only after a little while, you know, it bothered him that he needed somebody that could do more, I guess, and keep up with them. So, hey, Larry, what's up? So, you know, he had to let me go, but then he got hit by a car, a truck, got run over by a truck. It messed up his leg. He's got a fracture, torn meniscus, nerve damage in his thigh. Uh, you know, and I thought it, you know, like he was always after me, you know, like the whole problem with me being on Paranormal Central is my leg. Now all of a sudden, you know, looks like Jeff's going to be having leg problems for a while. And so, yeah, you know, I find that a little bit interesting. You know, there's no coincidences, right? I'm sorry, Mr. Lurks a lot. I didn't mean to come on really late. I just thought I owe you guys a little time, and I'm not going to be sleeping too soon because of my eye and my leg, but luckily it records and you guys can take off and come back and listen, but I'm not really getting into anything really big in the middle of the night. I thought I would just chat with you guys. I have a feeling he's learning right now, Carol. He is learning. He he's learning what happens. It's. I guess he won't be back to work for a while. He has to go through some surgery on it. I'm concerned about that. The surgeries. That's how I wound up messed up. Is a simple procedure. They were doing an angiogram and they accidentally blocked the artery and didn't realize it was blocked for 8 days. So 8 days with no blood flow, no oxygen to your leg, foot, ankle, knee, thigh. And that's what killed my leg, and that's what caused the whole problem. I hope that something doesn't happen to him and cause RSD. Anything like that could cause it. And I kind of am concerned that, I think it's okay for him to get a little taste of it, but I don't want him to have to spend the rest of his life with it. That's not cool. You know what I mean? Well, I'm always awake too. Whoops, I'm bumping the camera. I'm sitting here barefoot. Sleeping is for the weak. Oh, that's so good. Sleeping is for the weak. The weak kind. You get caught sleeping by Dogman. Yes, I agree. It's for the weak. In fact, I think I'm wearing this shirt. I think I'm wearing this shirt. We were raising money for Rock to rebuild the mountains where it burned. That's the shirt I'm wearing. We were raising money. We did two of them now. Two events. Raising money for the people that got burned out. Because in one of the places that we travel through to get to one of our Bigfoot spots, it's called Alder Springs. There was 60 cabins and only one survived. So 60 people were burned out of their homes. It was like full-time homes. So 60 people were burned out. And I was talking to the guy at the event, and he was saying, "Hey, Night Rider, Fire Dude, what's up, my man?" He was saying that he felt guilty being able to go home and go in his house and go to sleep, and all the rest of his neighbors lost their house. And we were talking about it, and what we're doing is we raise the money and we sell these t-shirts and some other merch, and we were donate it to a foundation there in Shaver Lake, and it's going to go to build like mini homes. What do they call them? Tiny homes. Tiny homes. So what it'll do is it'll put them back on their property, and they can start rebuilding. And they're not, because right now, they can't be on their property. That they don't have anywhere unless they're camping. So we're helping them build back and to rebuild. And so we feel good about it. I think the last one was we raised 89,000. So that ought to make some little tiny homes, right? I don't know how many they can make, but that should help. And I can't remember how much it was on the first event. We actually made more on the first event, really. So hopefully, it'll put some people back, get them a foothold back to their property, and help them build back another house or something. So, man, CW, Hey, how are you? And I'm hoping the med beds when they come out can help me too, man. I want to be one of the first ones. Can you imagine the line for that? Like when they find out, I heard they only have 3 in the world. So it's gonna be a huge amount. I mean, I rather see people that need kidneys and hearts and that they're gonna die if they don't get these replacement parts. But believe me, I want to get in it. It would make life a lot more easier for me, man. It would be great to be able to do that. Hey, Cy, thank you, sir. I hope it's a sir. I always get caught saying that. I shouldn't say that. Like, thank you. I shouldn't say sir or ma'am because I don't know unless it's a male name or a female name. I really don't know. It's like, yeah, I got caught a few times, saying ma'am or sir, and I didn't have it right. I don't interpret handles very well, I guess, pretty fun. It's fun though, trying to figure it out sometimes. Like I know Fire Dude, and I've known Fire Dude for a long time. I known his family for a long, long time. And they actually are mountain people. So I've known them a while. And I don't OB51. I'm doing pretty good. Thank you, sir. Thank you, OB51D14N Ghost. I guess that's what it's saying. That might be saying something, huh? That's funny. Obsidian Ghost. Hey, I knew it had to be saying something. I think I got the ghost part. It was the top part that really got me caught. Like, what in the world? You know, I didn't hear about the 3-year-old little boy in Texas found alive after 4 days in the woods. Wow. I've been praying for everyone, though. I've been praying for everyone. There is so much going on. I'm getting so sick of the sick, the sick-minded people. Getting so sick of the sick-minded people that don't realize that this kills you, and what they're trying to tell you makes that this takes care of doesn't take care of it. And your chances of survival are 99 point whatever percent that you survive. Like, why do we even need this? We don't need this, okay? We don't. I lived through it. Look, I have heart problems. I have so many problems, and I had it, and I now have antibodies, and I think having antibodies is better than this. The thing that they want, that they're pushing on everyone. Now they want to put it on our children. What's the matter with these people? And they're even saying that we should not be in charge of our children. No, we should be in charge of our children. We trust these guys that put transvestites reading story time to them? Yeah, right. I mean, I don't have anything against people wanting to be a transvestite, but don't push it on us, all right? Let us be however we want to be. That's what they say. My body, my choice. Whatever. I'm getting sick of it. I'm telling you. I know that doesn't have anything to do with Sasquatch, but it's like pretty prevalent nowadays. You can't even get away from it. Yeah, we have that. We have the same thing. Did you know that all the homeless are exempt? They don't have to get this thing. They're exempt. So, like, if we want to be exempt, all we got to do is give up everything and go live in the street. That's about as dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. I believe they are in their last days. I think God is coming, you guys. And I actually think like this is very, very important. I wasn't going to put this on. I promised I wasn't going to, but only the only thing is, I hope you guys are ready. You don't have to get it from preparewithsquatch.com. You don't have to. You get a deal if you do. It's easy. It stores really easy. It stores for a long time. It's all made with water. I know a lot of people can't afford it. I barely can. I just want everybody to be prepared. Prepared. Be prepared. Things that the containers, ships are out there, and they're lining up. I heard the trains in Chicago were at the main hub of the trains. They're backed up for 25 miles. 25 miles. Now they're saying that better start Christmas shopping now because uh, there might not be anything to shop for when we get towards Christmas because everything's all backed up. I'm telling you guys, get ready. Get ready. Yeah, it's getting worse and worse. See, that's how Larry, that's actually like when I was a kid, I'm gonna be 63 in a couple of months. When I was a kid, we had measles parties. Remember those? And chicken pox parties? Like somebody on the block would have chicken pox, and everybody would go hang out and stay all day with them so that they get measles or chicken pox. Remember that? I don't know if everybody remembers that, but we used to do that. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. The drugs that are killing people are actually the people on the street drugs. It isn't the ones that you get from the pharmacy. People don't abuse those. Really, seriously, they have. It's almost like buying a gun. You can't hardly buy a gun or ammo or anything. I mean, the same with the pharmacy. It's the street ones. It's the black market. That's the one that'll kill you. And it's the guns that kill people. I mean, it's the people that buy those guns. They kill people. I mean, it isn't the legal stuff. People need to forget it. Quit being feared into like voting stupid, or I don't get it. Like it isn't very hard to figure that out. You know what I mean? I remember when I was a kid, or even when I was in my 20s, when I saw Bigfoot for the first time, I went in the woods all the time, year round, and I always had a rifle and a pistol. Always. I mean, I had a hunting license, but I didn't have to do anything. I went and bought every chance I got. I bought a gun. I had like, I don't know, 30 rifles, different calibers, 30 out sixes, 270, 30. I mean, like just normal stuff for a regular guy, and a couple of 22s and a shotgun and all that stuff. I mean, all my kids grew up like that. And it isn't those guns that kill people. It's the ones that get stolen by the gangsters, and the gangsters are the ones killing people, or the crazy wackadoodle. And I think most of them are mind control. I have, it's all that nowadays. It is how it is. Like World Bigfoot. Um, I have friends or family that live in other states. And right now, California people are moving out of California in droves. Right now, if you live in California, it is a good time to go to estate sales. And then when you're there, don't just go and walk around and buy a few things. Go make friends with them. Get to know them, go there a couple of times and then give them your phone number and tell them, when you're ready to go and you don't have it all gone yet, call me. And then you go get it and then eBay your little heart's desire. Have yard sales at your house, where you have time to get rid of it and they don't. I mean, man, there's some deals to be had right now. That said, where they're going though, Idaho, South Dakota, Texas, Florida, they're getting out of here. Everywhere they go, they're voting like they did here, what made California the freaking laughing state of the United States. Well, they vote like that. Now they're all panicking over there in the other states because all these California people are moving in and they're voting like idiots. Oh my God. I don't know what to do. So damn in Gomorrah. Yes, sir, it is. And that sounds like fun. Living in a tent. Did you have one of those little camp stoves, the tent stoves? Wood stove for a tent? I think it's totally doable. I even seen somebody buy two tents and they put one tent inside the other tent, right? A little bit bigger tent and then put a smaller tent inside of it and had a, what do they call it, a little buddy heater or whatever you call it, and they stayed good all winter actually. Man, -20, you never get out of your sleeping bag that way. I'm staying in I'm staying in fighting too, Darlene. My wife can't leave. We can't go out of the valley because of her ears. And we went to doctors and all kinds of stuff to see if they could do anything about it. She can't go in elevation. She can't go not even 800 or 900 feet. She can't do it. So we're stuck and we're going to make the best of it. We're going to stand strong and fight for our home. That's what everybody should do, really. Not run. They're just when they run like that, they're just avoiding the inevitable for a little moment. It's gonna catch up. Every state. They just think they can run right now and they'll escape it. Doubt it. Better get prepared. Like better prepare with Squatch.com or whatever. Let me take that off. That's annoying me. See, ticker. How do I take it off? Ah, there we go. That's right. Hold the line. -11. I heard the other day that, see, this makes me real happy over here, is I heard that we're going to have I was talking when I was up, we were doing the shaver thing. We have a real famous ski slope up here called China Peak. It used to be called, what did it used to be called? I mean, it used to be called China Peak, and then they changed the name to something else. And then here recently, somebody bought it, and now it's China Peak again. But they're saying that they're looking forward to a real good snow season this year, and it already snowed in the higher elevations for 2 hours on Friday. So I'm hoping that by Thanksgiving, I hope that the mountains are full because our reservoirs are at 20%. 20%. That's not very good. If it doesn't rain, they will dry out by next summer. We will have no water If it doesn't rain, we will have no water next year. They all freeze to death. I love that, dude. That is so funny. Yeah, they really do. They have snow right now, though. If you could see them because of all the smoke, you can't see them, but maybe you can't. No, I don't know. If you're over there by Orange Cove, you can't. But when it, like, and the next clear day where you can see the mountains, there's snow right now. I don't think it melted off of the real high country yet. But we're looking forward to a good winter from my good friends up at this China Peak. And I'm happy. I'm stoked. I want it to happen. I can't wait. I mean, that'll be good for the burned areas. It'll soak the ground, and hopefully ground cover will come in, and maybe some trees will sprout, and maybe in 30 years or 40 years, the forest will be a forest instead of a big burned out area. Yeah, I agree. I used to live, when I was a kid, my dad, we moved around. He was a bus driver and truck driver. And we lived down by the Salton Sea. I don't know if you guys all heard about that. Coachella, Indio, Palm Springs. And it was hot, man. It was hot. And the only reason that I live right here, where I live at right now, I mean, it's not really a desert, really. It's a valley, but we're surrounded by mountains, some of the beautifulest mountains in the world. Yosemite, Kings Canyon National Park, like everything's an hour or two away. Like I'm 2.5 hours from Los Angeles. I'm 2.5 hours from San Francisco. I don't know how pretty San Francisco is, though. I heard it's pretty shitty right now, literally. Um, I'm 3 hours from Yosemite, and not because it's far, it's because the road is real crooked, so you can't go fast getting there. But it's only like 65 miles to Yosemite. I'm 2.5 hours, 2 hours from the beach, central coast of California. So I mean, like, I could be anywhere, like the mountains, high mountains. I could be at the coast. I could be in the big cities at Disneyland. I could be anywhere. What I think would be like we're centrally located in a really good place. And that I think is cool, really cool. And I can handle, 104 over the summers, 105. And it's just different now. And I think Carol has it right there. They've been doing climate control on us for years and years. That's how the trees are all dead, and they're not just dead in California. They're dead in Oregon. They're dead in Washington State. They're dead in parts of Canada. And they've been planning this for a long time. They killed those trees intentionally. They suppressed the fires for the last 30 or 40 years intentionally for the time we're living in right now. They have it planned. And these fires are terrible, and they knew they would be. They're experts, right? They're experts in climate change and experts in all this stuff. You can't tell me they didn't know what they were doing, right? They're so smart. They're telling us that we're the ones causing it. Bull crap. They knew what was going on. They planned it, and now we're seeing their plans come to fruition. And enough of us, they put us to sleep with their programs, right? Programming, football, baseball, soap operas, you know, name it. That's how they got it. They lulled us into a sense of security, and we felt like they had our best interest. And even though they're blaming everything on us, everything, I blame them. They knew. They knew the plans. They planned it. Now we're seeing it. We're seeing it burn. We're seeing everything fall apart. This thing with the trains backing up 25 miles, you think that's not planned? The ships all sitting out there, ready, can't get in the port. You think that wasn't planned? This gunk that's they say was killing people, it really wasn't killing people. 99% of the people lived that got it. You don't think that was planned? Wasn't planned? And if masks worked, don't you think we would have been wearing them every flu season? Just a few thoughts. Just a few thoughts. There you are, gender 21, right smack dab in the middle of it. Yeah, they have, Darlene. They've been chemtrailing for over 20 years. They blame us for it all. They blame us for it all. And good thing we have God on our side, because we're getting ready to see the greatest show on earth. And it ain't a circus. He's either going to rapture us, all the believers, or he's going to take out evil for a season, a few, maybe 20 or 30 years. But we're really at the end. Yeah, 99.98 survived. Isn't that amazing? That is horrifying. We have it's such a horrifying pandemic, and it's so bad that we could fire hospital workers. I could go on and on. I shouldn't do this. I'll probably lose my YouTube channel if I keep it up. But I'm just so sick of it. Every time you turn on the news or this or that, there are lies, 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 lies. It's like, my God, there's a few people I wouldn't mind taking out behind the woodshed. I'll tell you that much. Man, Mr. Looks a Lot, that is so true right there. I got to share that. That is so true. And I could be pretty deadly. That way, huh? Depends on what I had the day before, but I can be pretty deadly. Especially in the valley here, where we have a lot of beans and rice, and burritos, and yeah. What's really crazy, Carol, is I have a lot of relatives too, and it hurts my heart when they start talking about and getting their kids too, because they want to have a life and a future and everything like that, and they believe everything. It's almost like I can't believe it. Like, where did the common sense go? The stuff they've been spraying in the air, did we all breathe it? And then, like, because we're already we figured this out before they turned on the 5G. So now they can turn on the 5G, and they can brainwash people, like turn everybody into walking, talking idiots. And I don't know. It's so weird. I that part I can't figure it out. Rudy Toots, funny. I love it. Ah, man, the cows. I have the solution for the cows. It's called earthworms. Hey AC, I I grew earthworms before I got hurt. I grew earthworms, lots of earthworms. And when I first started the earthworms farm, I wanted to sell the worms like bait. And I wanted to teach my kids how to do business, be entrepreneurial. And we couldn't sell one worm. We went to all the stores. We had enough where we had enough to make 50,000 bait cups. And then do the math, right? They sell them for $2. We could actually sell them for $1 to the store, and they could add $1 to the cup. So if I sold 50,000 cups every 6 months, that was $50,000 every 6 months. But we couldn't sell one worm. And one day the worms started getting really sick, and they were segmenting and coming apart. And I didn't know what it was. And we didn't have the internet back then, so I had to go to the library. And yeah, well, earthworms are high protein. In Japan, they dry them out and crush them into powder and put them in cookies and all kinds of stuff. They're high protein, real high. So, but only my worms are dying, and I went to the library and I found out that they were living in their own excrement, and nothing can live in their own excrement for very long. Now they can live in other excrement, like worms can live in horse excrement or cow excrement or chicken, or it can live in dead and dying things, or mostly dead things, not dying. It has to be dead. It has to be organic. They can live in it, but they can't live in their own. So I had to figure out how to separate the worms from their excrement. And I figured it out, and I had a pile of the good shit, really big pile. And I had a party. Hey, 1B Tech, how are you? Yeah, I'm on longer than I said I was going to be. I told my wife I would only be on here a little bit, but you guys are so cool and hanging out. I'm sticking around a little bit. So I had all this poo, worm poo, piled up, and then I had a party. We had parties every 6 months on the ranch, and we would have a fall is fell party around this time of the year, and then we had a spring is sprung party, before it got all hot and brown. So every year when it was cooling down in the cooler months, we would have one of these parties. Yeah, I saw that, AC. I sure did. Um, I was just on there showing Adolf a cable. I was showing him how he can hook his phone to his TV in his living room, and he can chat with his daughter and all that kind of stuff, and be able to see it with instead of looking at the little phone. So he's all happy, but it was up for me. Hey, Rolito and Dookie, Dookie. I'm talking about that. No Bigfoots died in the making of all those fires. I don't think. I think they all live underground, Dookie. I think they have a cavern system everywhere where they are, and they live underground, and they escape the fires that way. The animals, they didn't fare so well if they couldn't run. So all my friends are at this party, and one of them comes up to me, and they're all buying homes, new homes, their first home, and a lot of them are just empty lots, no grass, no gardens, and they're like, "Hey man, you got this really good looking dirt piled up over there. Can we take some of that and put it in our gardens?" I'm like, "Sure, take as much as you want." And over the week or two, pickup trucks would be coming and going, and most of the people I knew. And one day it was all gone, all of it. All that really good dirt, as they say, was gone. The pile was gone. I can't believe it. It was like 9 feet tall by 22 feet around. It was a huge pile. And it was time to do it again. So we were separating the worms from their excrement and piling it up. And while we were out there, this old guy in a Dodge dually comes rumbling up the driveway. Now, I live down a dirt road 1 mile, exactly 1 mile. And then he had to come up my driveway, which is an eighth of a mile, or, it kind of curved around. And at that curve is where I had the worm farm. He comes rumbling up there, backs up to the pile. And I never seen him before, and he gets out and he starts telling us, "Don't throw that on the dirt. What are you doing?" Starts like cussing us out for doing that. And I grabbed the pitchfork and I'm like, "Well, man, like you better get back in your truck and go back where you came from. You about to get hurt over here. Like that's not how you greet people." He's like, "Wait, wait, wait, wait." He goes, "You don't know what you're doing, And I was like, that isn't how you greet people. Like, you better get in your truck and get out of here, man. So finally he's like, "Okay, all right, all right. Just let me explain, like, all right, you got like 2 minutes, start explaining." He starts telling us about this black gold that we're throwing on the dirt and we're getting it dirty. He goes, "Throw it in the back of my truck." So like we filled up his truck while he taught us what it was that we had. I started marketing that, and pretty soon I was making anywhere from 11 to 13,000 a month selling that. And I wish I didn't get hurt because I would still be doing that. And I still have it all right here. I've challenged my friends, my boys, like, "Come on, you guys, I know how to raise the worms. Let's get in a worm farm." They can't go, like, everybody wants instant success. Okay. Doesn't happen. It took me almost 2 years to go from 1 box of worms to 50 boxes of worms and that kind of money. It took 2 years to grow it. And if we start now, it's going to do that. It's going to take that long again because I'm going to have to train people to do it. I cannot do it. So I have to train the people, but I could, and it could be done. And it'll eat all the cow manure that you can throw at it, all the horse manure you could throw at it. It is the best shit in the world, 4 times better than any fertilizer in the world. It will not burn your plants. There's nothing better because for millennia, the worms have been doing this, tilling the soil and breaking down the biological dead things and poops and stuff like that and turning it into castings. The plants know exactly what to do with it because it's been going on for millions of years. You can't go wrong. You absolutely can't go wrong. I feel bad that I can't do that anymore because that was a real rewarding. It was like doing your part. It eats garbage, like paper products, cardboard, food scraps, anything organic. It'll actually eat meat, cheese, and all that, but I never fed them that. I did at first, and I learned the flies like it too, that stuff, especially the meat products and stuff, cheeses, and they would lay eggs in it, and then I had, you know, larvae, you know what I'm talking about? And I didn't like that in my worm farm, so So I stayed with the green waste mostly, cuttings, plant cuttings, lawn clippings, all that stuff. Hey, Woolly Booger. Bigfoot. It's the time of the year for the Bigfoot right now. For us. We're going into October. We're going into the most busiest Bigfoot time until spring, and then usually then they move up. A small percentage of them stay low, but most of them, like right now, we're harvesting peaches, plums, and all that kind of stuff. So the harvest is on. The Bigfoot are in the valley. The water's down here. The food's down here. Every year it picks up right now. And I think that's the way it is everywhere. People see the October surprise Bigfoot thing going on for a long time. LOTR, Grima Wormcast. Wormcasting's best thing you could get into. Yeah, same here. We have the year-round ones, even down here in the valley, along the rivers. They stay because the fishing's good. The little animals are all around. There's always, like where we're at, we're the breadbasket of the world. At least we were until they started all this climate stuff on us and getting rid of our water. Like we could save the water, only they made a law. They want to save this fish, the little smelt. So they release all the water out the river to the ocean to save the little fish. That makes a lot of sense. And they said that the little fish only grew in that river. And then they found some in New York. And then they found out this little fish is everywhere. They already passed a law. You can't change that. Delta smelt. There you go. I have some farmer friends that hate the Delta smelt, and they're losing their crops. And the government doesn't really want them to grow any crops. Isn't that weird? What are they trying to do? Are they trying to do a food shortage by chance? Like all the other things I talked about earlier, and that too, you don't think that's not planned? I think everything I talked about was planned. Even that. Yeah, it doesn't make sense because it messes all of them. Rafaela. Ooh, I don't want to say it wrong. But how's it going? Yeah, it's yeah, so hey, I was out chatting with Dave on Spaced Out Radio. I did my second installment or whatever, my second visit with Dave. He's pretty cool. He's a cool guy. And I thought about maybe I have some friends that I never called on to be guests with me on anything. And I was thinking about calling up some friends and see if that they won't go on with me on Spaced Out Radio. In fact, I've been thinking about pulling out these friends and seeing if they might like hang out with me one night on the Squatch Zone. I'm pretty sure Bobo would come and hang out with me if I asked him, and probably Ron Moorhead would. He's a pretty good friend. And I have a few more, maybe James Fox and a few more. I know a bunch that over the years, you've been on his show twice. That's twice now for me too. I like his questions. he seems more like I've been interviewed by a lot of different people, and he seems like he knows what he's talking about. His questions are really good. I mean, they make you think. And the other people, you could tell they maybe read the headlines or something, and that's what all their questions are, like headlines. Megan Fox. Maybe I could do something in that with the Megan Fox thing. I'll see what I could do. Mountain Ranch, California. Wow. I heard that's a pretty good place. Like it's just far enough away from the big cities. I mean, it's a little bit of a drive, but only it's perfect because the population isn't huge. That's the way I like it. In the Gold Belt. Yeah, he is an experiencer. We've been chatting a little bit off, like Facebook Messenger and stuff like and during like before the show starts and stuff. And I want to hear more about him. Maybe I'll have him on my Squatch Zone, and we can all of us together. We can quiz him on everything. 'Cause I would like to learn more about what makes him tick and how he got involved in everything and what he thinks about everything. I know he was kind of tripping on me on I guess he likes aliens, and I'm more like aliens or demons, and even to the point where I think even the Bigfoot could be Nephilim or demonic, and I know a lot of people don't agree with that and don't kill the messenger. I've been doing this a long time, okay, and I talk to a lot of people. There's more bad than there is good. There's for every good story, I can find 10 to 20, maybe even 50 bad ones. So, you know, it you got to think like that. You got to know. You just got to know. Hey, Joey, Jaden. Hey, I'm missing some people. Talking my head off, and I'm missing everybody. Lito. Oh, he's calling it a Relito. Uh, in the alien thing, like tonight, I was talking to Adolf. That's one of the people that I would like to uh, go on Spaced Out Radio with is Adolf in the 101102. So I think, man, let's see, what is that one? Alan, am I way off base for asking this? Is a 30-year Bigfoot researcher any different than a 30-year hunter never killed a deer? I don't understand. Like, I don't think you're way off base too much. It would be about the same because I didn't kill any Bigfoot, and I'm doing about the same thing that I was deer hunting that I'm doing when I'm Bigfoot hunting, or I'm not really Bigfoot hunting, but I'm still doing the same thing, right? I look for them, and now I don't look so hard as I know where they're at now. I just go there. I don't think it's failure so much. They they're not easy, but only they're not hard either. It's not hard. If you're a hunter and you learn your area and you know the migration route of of the food that they're looking for. They're there for the same reason you're there. So if you're a deer hunter and you just take your focus off the deer and then onto them, onto what to look for them, you'll find them. You'll find their tracks, you'll find a sign, you might see them because you're looking. Most of the time when you're deer hunting, you don't see them because you're not looking. See, and I'm not out. I'm not out to kill a Bigfoot. I will defend myself, but only the first Bigfoot I saw that I watched it for. People don't believe me, but only I always say over an hour. It was more like almost 2 hours. Okay, and the first hour was I thought it was a man. The whole time I thought it was a man. Walked like a man, moved like a man. It was a man until it got light enough to where I can make out that where I thought it was wearing dark clothing, it was wearing black clothing, and that made me mad at first because I was deer hunting and here's somebody in the woods with no gun, no light, no anything, and they're wearing all black. I was thinking, what a fool. Like I had a bear tag. I mean, he was an idiot. But as he got closer, I started realizing that I had the 300 Magnum because I had a bear tag, and I know it's still overkill for a bear. And the 30-06, I have 3 of those. I know they're good enough for a bear, but had one, so that's what I was going to use for my bear. And I could have shot it. I mean, I had the rifle leveled on it. When it took off running is when I wasn't really prepared. I mean, but while it was still standing there, I could have nailed it. But I wasn't looking in the scope either. I was still not believing my eyes that I'm not seeing a man. I was seeing something that was like a man, and it was a runner-up for the world's strongest man. It was like a runner-up as being a ninja, the way it moved. It was graceful, like a freaking dancer. It was, yeah. 308s are good, are real good. I never owned a 308, but I've shot a lot of 308. I used to reload for everybody, and I had a couple of sets of dice for the 308, and I probably reloaded 15 or 20,000 rounds of 308 for my friends. But yeah, 7.62, that's kind of little. I mean, that's more like a varmint round, and it doesn't have a lot of powder. So, like, we're talking like a 30-06 or when you get 7.62, now you're getting down like a 270, something like that. And that's more like smaller game. But if you know what you're doing, you could take out something with a 270. You could take a deer down and all that. I mean, I had friends that's all they would shoot is the 270 because they didn't like the big kick of the other guns. But, yeah, I agree. The 30-06, what was cool about the 30-06 is you can use different recipes, and different powders like ball powder and flake powder and pencil powder, pencil powders and ball powders, not flake powders. And you could load lighter bullets to be like a varmint round. You get more speed out of the bullet that way. And if you played around with your bullet and your powders, you could get one that you could tack, you know, nail. You could hit nails. You could put some nails down. You could just like bing, 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 bing. You could do the same thing with a 185 grain bullet all the way down to a 90 grain bullet. I mean, that's what I liked about the 30-06 is you could load it like that. I think I gotta go though. My wife, I think she's ready to turn the lights out. I've been hearing her for like 30 minutes. Now she's gonna hit me. Okay. I'm being nice. I'm just being real with everyone. They're all my friends. I'm talking to my friends. The 308, the three, they're like, uh-oh, be careful. Oh man. Well, it was good, you guys. It was good talking with you. I will be on. Maybe I could come on tomorrow a little earlier. Guys, what do you say to that? Let's get a vote. I come on like maybe 4 p.m. tomorrow, Sunday. And they all said thank you for letting me stay on late. You hear me? Can you hear? She's ignoring me. Okay. But let's get a vote. What about tomorrow around 4, 5, somewhere in there? 4? And come and chat with you guys. I have more time and she won't be in here. And I know it's her bedtime. She goes to bed earlier than me usually. And so that everybody's good with the 4. Hey, Daniel's channel. I didn't see you in here. You snuck up on me. Right on. Okay, well, you guys, you have a good morning. Most of you, even us, it looks like. We'll have a good morning. And I'll see you sometime tomorrow afternoon. See, Reedy Green should be over. Okay, so I'll wait till the Raider game's over, okay? And then I'll come and turn it on. And I'm probably going to do the same setup, I think, instead of hooking up all the stuff, I could just plug this in and go in like 5 minutes if this sounds and looks okay to you guys. How about that? Like, let me know on that real quick before I turn it off. Because if you'd rather see it the other way, I'll do it the other way. Hey, Joey, what's up? I like the little animal there. Oh, everybody must be already gone. Okay. We shall see you guys. Good night, everyone. Or good morning, good night. Cool. Thank you, Joey.